Welcome to another episode of tCrazy with your host, me. So it's recently occurred to me that I have been living in a cave for some period of my life. I don't know if it's because I've been a stay-at-home mom forever, so my exposure to the outside world is limited. I consider myself a fairly intelligent person. I don't know everything. My grammar isn't perfect, and I don't know all of the rules. I don't have a college degree in English, those kinds of things, and I apparently don't know a lot of history or geography either. But somehow I've survived. I don't know, I've made it this far. I can do simple addition and subtraction if I'm not being distracted by a screaming toddler. It came as a shock to me when I realized here recently there were things that seemed to be common knowledge that I just didn't know. There's been some laughing, there's been some teasing, and you know, I find it funny myself. So I thought I would share some of these things with you. A lot of you are going to be so ticked off with me. I'm not a feminist, but I mean, I'm a woman and I'm proud to be a woman. So I know that I'm going to lose some significant points for this, but I didn't know that J.K. Rowling was a woman. I just assumed. I thought it was just some old white dude that wrote great books. That's just what my head imagined J.K. Rowling to look like. I just found out last week. Yeah, I know it's terrible. I'm disappointed in myself for not taking the time to educate myself on things that may or may not matter to me, because you just never know when you're going to be in a situation where you're going to realize that you're an idiot. Moving on. Now, in my defense, I didn't become a book person until like a couple of years ago, so I'm slowly catching up. But as an adult and a mother, I have the desire to read and get lost in, you know, fairy tale worlds or, you know, other realities in general. But I just didn't make it to the Harry Potter books. Like, I liked it, but I'm not like a super fan. I'm sorry. So the other thing, I found this out last year, but again, it was one of those things that I felt like I should have known that. You may or may not know that I was kind of in the beauty game for a couple of years, you know, the makeup game, and I didn't know who Jeffree Star and James Charles were. So I do now, and I am a huge fan. I'm catching up, okay? You guys, like, I'm taking the time to really invest in myself and in the expansion of my mind. You know, like, I stopped reading magazines a long time ago. I stopped watching like regular TV a long time ago. So I'm not hip to all the happenings all the time. Like, if it doesn't show up on Facebook, I don't really hear about it. And that's where we're at now. It's time to do a little reflection. Some pretty sad stuff. You know, my dad used to tell me to read the newspaper every day. And I pretty much made it a habit of blowing off everything that he told me to do just because I was that kind of a teenager.
Sorry, Dad. Maybe
I should have done that. Maybe I need to spend more time learning about the things that are going on in the outside world. I mean, it's been pretty easy to get into the history of politics and things like that here lately. I've definitely spent more time gaining knowledge about that. I never had any interest when I was younger. I didn't care. I didn't feel like any of that mattered. It didn't apply to me at the time, so it wasn't a concern. Y'all are gonna have to excuse my voice changes. I'm getting over like the worst cold. Like I said, I've always considered myself fairly intelligent. Definitely not a know-it-all, but you know, I can only imagine what Chris tells people when they ask about me, like how he describes me to them. You know, that whole thing where it's like, if they start off by saying, "She's funny," you know, that's not good. That, like, something's wrong is what that tells you. I need more coffee. Plus, what really gets me going on stuff is that my kids just ask the most random things, and I'm almost forced to kind of like, because now we have Google, we have knowledge at our fingertips. So anytime they ask about something, I like Google it and try to tell them everything I can about that subject. Unless it's something that I can easily explain, you know, obviously. Sometimes I lose them after like 10 seconds, but anyways. It's just, I want it to be available to them. I want them to have the knowledge available. After a certain grade, I just stopped paying attention. And he's probably like,
she's a great travel companion. She has a really good sense of direction. She just doesn't ever actually know where we are.
So my mom recently went on this trip to Alaska, and she had mentioned something about being so close to Canada. I didn't know what she was talking about. I didn't know it bordered Canada.
And she's cute, and she's kind of smart.
So I asked Chris about it, and he thought it was funny. Please understand that my entire life, the only maps of this nature that I've ever really looked at were like this. Either that, or it'd be a globe or something where, you know, it's not, you can't see the detail of the states and all of these things. I know, I am not smarter than a 5th grader. Where the heck have I been? What have I been doing? Why do I not know these things? Like, how sad is that to be, I'm 32 years old right now, and I feel like I need to go back to school, like just repeat from like the 3rd grade. So here's what I want you to do. Go ahead, and after you like and subscribe, I want you to put in the comments, like, ask me a question, some random fact about something that you feel is common knowledge that I may or may not know the answer to. If I know the answer, I will respond. If I don't know the answer, then I'll cry. So see if you can stump me, and I'm hoping to do well on this endeavor. Anyways, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and thanks for watching tCrazy, an air check production. We'll see you next time.